What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How is your day?
How was your week?
How is your life?
Going.
Woo!
Yeah, you gotta have it, right?
Yes.
That's
I want my applause. Aplauso.
Look at you with your Spanish.
Yeah, I just came back from Mexico, dude.
That's right. Yeah.
I learned me a little something.
Yeah.
Something. Yep. Thank you, Isabel Ortiz, my very, very good friend.
Your road dog?
Yep, my road dog for my sangria wine. It is really good, very tasty.
Yeah. So you went to Mexico in the middle of the week.
Dude.
You just on last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What was it last weekend? It just kind of came up like, hey, you want to go to? It was Veterans Day.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
A few days before we left.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I flew off like a bird. Like a bird.
Less than a week later, you were gone.
No, and normally, like, my schedule is crazy. Like, it just is. And you were supposed to be leaving out of town that week, and your trips rescheduled. So when she called me up, and we've been trying to get together for quite some time. She just moved to the East Valley. Before, she lived far away from us, moved back this way. And we've always tried to get together. We do business together, but to spend personal time together.
And hang out and chill.
Right. It's just, there was always something going on. So when she called me, I'm like, I have to make this. I have to make this. I looked at my schedule and I was very surprised that I was open. Yeah. And when I called her and I told her I would go, she was even surprised. Like, really?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And then she even called me the day before and the day of just to make sure. Yeah. We were out to dinner and she's like, what's up, bro dog? And it was just hilarious. But let me tell you, it was I was supposed to go with her.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
How
supposed
was it?
to
What
go
did you
with
guys
her.
do? So you guys went to Rocky Point, Puerto Peñasco?
Yes. And stayed at a beautiful, beautiful condo in La Princesa with her nephew and my friend Michael Sandoval owns that condo. And let me tell you, right? He has a penthouse, which we didn't stay at. We stayed on the ground floor level condo, and I loved it because the restaurant, which has like the best food, is like 30 seconds away from right. It's right there.
Yeah.
The beach is right in front of us. I mean, it was just absolutely mind blowing. But the reason why I said I was supposed to be there was because there were so many spiritual moments that we had. She loves God, and so do I. We just had no idea how much we had in common. You know, she's 20 years older than me, something like that. Yeah. But I've always have bonded with individuals that are older than me. Just always. I mean, my mentor is like 76 years old, you know? And so on the drive up to Rocky Point, like, we just shared stories, like, you know, how we grew up and things that we've been through. And we just had so many God winks.
Like what?
Situations that we've gone through, situations that we've grown through. I don't want to give her personal information out, but I mean, you and I, when we took in our, my sister's kids, that entire situation, just the feeling of not being, I can't get into it because
there's a lot.
The information that she gave me is private information.
Yeah, of course.
But when we shared, our life story, things that we've been through and how we've overcame them and our spiritual experiences, right? Like how I got to know God and how I got to grow a relationship with God. And you know how things happen with me where I meet someone and I have a message for them from God and I'm blown away, they're blown away. Like, it's just having that deep connection with God. She has the same connection. She goes through the same experiences. And what was so great is that we actually got to witness that together. I'm going to share with you, like we were coming out of a restaurant, and there at Rocky Point, a lot of times when you go to a restaurant, there's individuals around who are washing your cars, washing your windows, right?
Yeah.
And so
trying to make some money.
Right. And before we got out of the vehicle, she told them, don't wash my car, please don't wash my car, because last time that happened, they scratched her vehicle. So she asked them not to. But when we went out, there was another couple that were there, or not a couple, but two men that were out there who said, we washed your car, and she wasn't too excited about it at first. Yeah. Anyways, we started speaking to this individual, and he came up to me first when we walked out, and he was speaking rapid Spanish to me.
Yeah. Speedy Gonzalez Spanish.
Right. And you know how I am with that.
You came back from Mexico speaking Spanish.
I've been speaking Spanish, babe. Yeah. But when they come at me like that, I'm like, wait, what? What?
Sorry, no Nintendo.
I'm like, no play Nintendo. No.
Yeah.
But when he realized, I asked him, I looked at him and I'm like, are you hungry? And he said yes. And when he realized I spoke Spanish or English, I gave him the plate of food. And he said, thank you so much. He's like, I was going to ask you a question, but you answered my question with your spirit, because I gave him food. Yeah. And he started speaking really good English. And I'm like, I told him, I'm like, you speak very good English. He's like, I lived in Casa Grande in Arizona for quite some time. He's like, I had my green card. He's like, and I made a bad decision one day. And I ended up getting a DUI, and it was in the process when Trump was president. And without any question, without any explanation, they deported me, and I left my 5 kids behind. You can see the life in this man, right? Yeah, like you can tell when they're on drugs. Now I can tell, now that I volunteer, I'm around, people that are on drugs. Now I can tell. And his spirit, he had such a beautiful spirit, and you can see the life through his eyes and their hurt. And I got in the car and I started talking to Isabel, and Isabel got out of the car and we started talking to him, and she asked him, he said that he was going to try to apply for a pardon. And I'm not sure how that goes, but from what I've heard is that once you make a mistake like that, you're done.
Yeah. And I was going to say it like that seems kind of extreme for something like that.
But that's what was happening.
And,
so we asked if we could pray for him, and we started praying for him. And this man just started crying. And you already know me. Well, Isabel is just like me.
Yeah.
So we end up crying with him, but man, my heart, it's just like you just never know. Like you never know.
Yeah.
And we were there ministering I felt like we were ministering the entire time.
While you were on vacation?
When we were on vacation.
Yeah.
But we had time. Like I was not in that condo. I wanted to be out. I wanted to be out in nature, listening to the ocean, just being present with myself at times and being there with her. Because as much as I needed her, she needed me at that time, because she's a real estate agent. We both own businesses. We're very busy, but when you need that quiet time, it's so important to listen. And were you surprised when I told you I was leaving?
I don't know.
Because you said in the evening, you were like, you're leaving to Mexico tomorrow. Like you were like kind of like.
Not really surprised. Because you don't.
Because it was so last minute.
Well, this is different than. Because you have left before. Like you've left
on
a
bunch
women's
of times. Retreat prior to Legal Shield. But
it's usually different kind of stuff.
Right.
It's like a business trip. It's a encounter weekend or something.
It's not just a because. Like I'm gonna go.
I guess you've also gone with my mom, but it hasn't been something like this.
Right.
Where you just kind of like, hey, I'm going.
Girls
trip, middle of the week, we're going to Mexico.
Right.
And I don't know if I was surprised, but I was like, yeah, it's cool.
Right.
I don't know if it surprised me though.
But it was so just absolutely amazing. We worked out. I mean, we cried together. We laughed together. We worked out together. We indulged together.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely amazing. And it was needed. It really was needed. And I think that there's times because her and I, we pour into so many people, right?
Yeah.
Like all we want to do is help. And we don't realize that as much as we help others, we also need help.
Yeah.
We need those people around us that can also fill our cup. Because once our cup runs empty, then what? Right? That's when we start to feel depressed, anxious, stressed.
Yeah. You got to recharge.
We disconnect. So I feel that her and I both filled up each other's cups. We were there to listen to each other, share with each other. And I felt that I can trust her 100%. And I knew that she can trust me to really open up and be vulnerable enough to speak my truth with her and knowing that it will stay with her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the only other person that knows, I mean, you know way more about me than what she does, but within that time that we spent, like the hours that we drove up there and we spent all day together, we went to bed late. We didn't go to bed early, and all we were doing was just talking and sharing and thinking of how we can help others, and she's like, you and I, she's like, there's a reason why, God put us together. And when I think back on the story of how and I were together, how we became friends, it will blow your mind. Because I met her older brother trying to sell him Legal Shield years ago.
Oh, really?
And I walked into his place. This was Mike Sandoval's father.
Yeah.
Trying to sell him a Legal Shield plan. And I sit talking to him.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
he looks at me and he tells me, you look familiar. He's like, where's your family from? I'm like, well, I'm from here, but my mom's from Flagstaff. And he's like, what part? He's like, what's your mom's last name? And all of a sudden we realized that their family is pretty much like our family.
Yeah. They had a connection through boxing, right?
Yeah. He used to coach my Uncle Ardone in boxing way back in the day. And our families all knew each other.
And it wasn't like, it was like professional boxing.
Oh, yeah. Professional. Yes. And Isabel was best friends with my Aunt Gloria.
Yeah.
When they were younger, they were pom-pom girls.
That's crazy.
And she was sharing with me. She's like, I remember we were so poor. She said, we were so poor. And she's like, I knew how to sew. So we went and bought material and I sewed both of our pom-pom dresses.
That's crazy. That's cool.
Yes. But it's so funny because my Aunt Gloria, like the age difference is so big, but there was you would not be able to recognize that by listening to us and just the way we connected.
Yeah.
But cool. it was beautiful. It was a great, great time. And I'm so grateful that she thought about me when she was heading out. And now I'm her road dog. And now she wants to she's like, let's go to Sedona.
Now you guys are road dog. Yeah. You're like, let's go.
I told her, I said, and I feel this when I'm speaking to someone who is about the same level of spirituality that I am, and we're able to connect on that level. What I see, what I envision, what I feel, it's just the weirdest thing ever is like our spirits dancing together.
Yeah.
And my energy, like the energy I feel from her is just on a different level.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it was super, super awesome.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, so while you were gone, we had so I stayed with the kids, with Joey and Audrey, and they had school. And it was great. And there was one time when I was downstairs, I was working on the podcast while you were gone. And there's it's usually Joey, Audrey, and our third kid, Evan.
Yes.
And sometimes there's a couple other kids, but I can't remember exactly who was upstairs. It might have just been them three. But I was downstairs. But sometimes these kids, they just they just go out of control. Like they're just screaming. We just had it a little while ago. They finally calm down outside.
It was insane. We're like, are we going to be able to record?
It was so loud outside in the streets.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys are watching, like this wall right here, that's the street is on the other side of this wall. And we could hear, it was like the kids were in
our house,
in our studio,
right.
like yelling and playing, and they were right outside.
Right.
But so I'm like working on the podcast down here, and the kids are upstairs, and they're just acting a fool, and like just in a split second, I got like annoyed just at all the noise and all the freaking yelling and everything. Yes. And I went to just go yell at them, like, "Hey, keep it down," or like be quiet or whatever. Right. But then when I was like, I stopped for a second, I listened, and they were just laughing and having fun, and they were like giggling, and they were just having a good time.
Yes.
And I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, they're not hurting anybody. Mm-hmm. They're not. I mean, it's just me being fucking old, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean?
It's you.
But it's like, why? Why am I like just try to ignore them? I can ignore them and just do what I got to do. Let them have fun. Let them do their thing, and don't ruin their fun.
Right. It's kind of like there's time. You already know. Like I just like, because I'm so disorganized sometimes in my head, I need my house organized. I need my house clean.
Yeah.
And it's times where I walk into the house and there's shit everywhere. I have shoes on the floor, or do you know what I'm saying? Like it's their stuff just like everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh, like I get frustrated.
It's like kid droppings all over the fucking house.
But it's still, you have to show them responsibility to pick up after themselves. But it's like one day we're going to be empty nesters.
Yeah.
And those are the things that I'm going to be crying about. I wish I found a sock on the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wish I found a mess. Like I miss that. You're going to miss those things. You're going to miss the dirty laundry. You're going to miss the screaming. You're going to miss the yelling. And so it's like it's slowing down and being present and being mindfulness, right? Being mindful. Yeah, being mindful. So no, I get it. I mean, we all get that. That's but
it's
normal,
I was
but
just
it's
like,
awesome
but
that
it's
you
one of
were
those things. Like
to.
Sometimes it's just automatic, and he's like, hey,
yes.
be quiet, keep it down, whatever.
That's why we need a bigger house.
Yeah, that could help.
Well, so Isabel gave me some really good ideas. No.
Yeah. Are we selling the house now?
Insulation.
Yeah.
Build the home. There's a way to build it.
All right.
You request for extra insulation.
Oh, okay.
But before we move on, I want to share a post that I put up because I feel that people need to hear this.
Okay.
Not only hear it, but if you get in the habit of practicing what I'm going to share with you, it will change your life. It really will.
Yeah. So
at the I woke up early. Can you believe that? I woke up early. We were going to bed late, and I woke up early. The second day we were there, or no, the first day we went to sleep. I woke up early, made me some coffee, and decided to go sit out. And I put the post, of how it looked on the outside.
You can check it out in our group or on our Facebook page.
I did not take a journal.
Or Instagram.
I did not take a pen.
Twitter.
So I have these feelings starting to stir, and I had to get them out.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to share this on Facebook because there's a reason why God put it in my heart. And whenever something is, the feeling gets intense, I know that it's something that I need to share because it's something that someone needs to hear.
Okay.
And so I just put, I sit here in silence talking to God and thanking him for the blessings after blessings, including the challenges he has put before me so that I can become the person I need to become. I can't help but feel alive. Most people, when they're sitting in gratitude, they're thanking God or inner God, whatever your beliefs are, for the things that you have, whether it's the breath in your lungs, your children, the life. Just to be alive is a gift.
Yeah.
But how often do we thank God for the challenges? Because I believe that we go through challenges to help us become braver, to help us gain patience. That's why they say always be careful for what you're asking.
Well, a perfect example of that is like over these last 2 years or a year. Holy shit, 2 years almost.
Yeah.
It's 2 years in some places already, but we're coming up on 2 years of this thing. And for some people, for a lot of people, the virus, COVID, everything, for some people, like it's been one of the hardest parts of their life.
Yes.
But for some people, it forced them to do something different.
That's right.
That completely changed their life. Yes. And I was just talking to somebody about, like the situation that I'm in, that we've talked about on the podcast. And kind of like what it makes you think about. Like it makes you think about not wanting to be forced to, like somebody being able to force you to do things.
Right.
And relying on yourself and being actually really independent and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And like looking back at it 5, 6, 10 years from now, and you're thinking now at this time, like this shit is fucking hard. This is a challenge. Why does this have to happen to me? But 10 years down the road, you look back and you're like, that was the moment that made it different.
That's right. Yes. And there's so many people that I know that have lost businesses and ended up finding their purpose.
Yeah.
Because of it. And I put practicing gratitude is something that I do on a normal basis. But this morning I woke up with no agenda, no kids screaming, no dogs barking, and no cat climbing up on my bed.
Yeah.
I woke up to the birds chirping and a beautiful view. It's not easy to be joyful, peaceful, and grateful. It's easy to be joyful, peaceful, and grateful if this is your day from sun up to sundown. But that's not reality. Most of us have a day full of craziness.
Yeah.
To live in a state of gratitude, it's not easy because that means that we have to slow down, pay attention, and be present with everyone and everything. You will fall off your path for a moment, but know that you have the ability to get right back on. And no matter how loud or crazy life gets, if we teach ourselves to live in a state of gratitude, you will enjoy life.
Yeah. That's good.
And it's easy. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Right? To stay in a place of gratitude. But the more you practice, the better you will get.
Yeah. True.
And just with you, I've seen a huge difference. A huge difference. And I don't know if it's just you working from home and being around more often than not, where
I think it's a combination of different
more mindful, of your surroundings. You're more mindful of your temper, the things you say, things you do. You just gave a great example of when I was gone and the kids were being very loud and you were like, ugh, and then you took a moment. You went up there and you told them,
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? You thought about it?
No,
okay.
I thought they were just playing and having fun. So I was just like, I can tune them out.
Right.
You know what? That just reminded me of something. What was it? I think it was something with Jocko, because he's such a psychopath sometimes. But it was one of those things that how he had like discipline. Like he's all about discipline.
Yes.
Like the way he has success is you discipline everything.
That's right.
But there was something, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it might have been like being tired, but being loud can be kind of the same thing. Like where if you're working on something, it can be distracting. But he wanted to fucking train himself to be able to focus when it was loud and when it was like he just worked on. And like for a second I was like, you know what, I can just kind of try to tune them out and just focus on what I'm and that's what I did. I was just like, you know what, if I have to, I'll just put headphones on or I'll just try to ignore them.
Right.
But yeah.
So anyways, I just wanted to share that because I do believe that if that is a practice that you get down, that you will enjoy life.
Yeah. And that's cool. And it's cool that, to have those friendships that you can share those times with people. Like you said, like going on that trip to Mexico. And I had a friend that stopped by from the Air Force, my friend Chad Miller. I mean,
that was cool.
I think I haven't seen him the last time I saw him was before we got married. So we've been married for a long time now, for 13 years, going on 14. And he actually, before we got married, stopped by the house and crashed on his way somewhere else. And he just kind of used the house for like a hotel, said what's up, hang out with us for a little bit. But he did. Go ahead. Were you going to say something?
I was going to share something because we all went out to eat.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait.
Do you want to share
this time or last time?
This time.
Okay, go ahead.
When he came by.
Yeah.
And he told me something that I was unaware of.
Do I know what it is?
Yes.
Was I there?
He shared with us, like, you jerk.
I'm like, I don't know what he might have told you.
Before we were married, it was probably in 2000. We got married in 2008. So
I'm worried now. What the hell did he tell?
Really, he told us that when we were eating. But anyways, we were having dinner, and he told me, he's like, when I first met you, he's like, I remember you had cooked for us. I don't know what I made. I don't even remember what
Mexican
I made.
food.
But what? Anyways, it doesn't matter. And he told me, he's like, as soon as I taste your food, he's like, I remember telling Miguel, you have to marry her.
Yeah. Yep. And I was like, well, that's it.
And that was just so funny because you've never mentioned that. Like, oh yeah, Chad, remember that?
Yeah.
Like you had never mentioned it. So, and he remembered a lot. Like he remembered
he did
a lot. He
actually
was such
even
a cool
like
guy.
the desk in our office from like, you've had that thing forever.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's the same desk from the other house. And I'm like, yeah. But it's one of those friendships that, like we mentioned a couple podcasts ago. I mean, when I was in the military, he's like one of the first like real friends that I had in the military. And it was cool. But when you have friends like that, he was like an hour away. So he was in town, and no matter what was going to happen, like we were going to figure out how to see each other for a little bit.
Right. Yes.
Because it's just no excuse. It's been too long. And the first day we went all the way over there. And that was one thing that I wanted to make it a point to, because your Mexico trip was so unexpected.
Right.
And everything just kind of happened because I was supposed to be going out of town. That ended up getting pushed to a later date. You weren't supposed to be going to Mexico.
Nope.
My friend Chad was coming, and because I was supposed to be going out of town, I kind of forgot, or not really forgot, but I knew that when I got back, that was pretty much going to be the only day that we would have to hang out. But because all the plans changed, now you're going to Mexico. Now I'm not going on the trip. Now he shows up, and it's like, well, I have a little bit more time to hang out with him, but now you're leaving. I was like, but I want all of us to get together. So the first night we all went and drove about an hour and hung out with my friend. And then the next day you left out of town, and then he came over here and we hung out at night for a little while. But it was cool just kind of reminiscing about, the old days. And now, I mean, all of my friends that are still in, they're getting to like, the highest ranks in the military. And I mean, we all started together, like no stripes, no nothing.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
I think when it comes to friendships, right? When I was younger, I didn't have too many close friendships, and it was because I had a trust issue when it comes to, I just had a trust issue, I think, just because of all the betrayal and everything that, my surroundings, a lot of things you learn what not to do, and sometimes you learn what to do, just by watching and paying attention. And so my friendships, like really good friendships, didn't happen until I got older.
Yeah.
And when you find a friend, right? When you have that friend who you don't even have to talk to them every day.
Yeah, we talked about that too.
Right?
Yep.
But when you do talk, it's like you never stopped.
Yeah.
And they don't give you shit about, hey,
it's all good.
Why haven't you called me? Hey, why haven't you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what's up? Man, I missed you, man. Like, it's just it's like you pick up where you dropped off. And that's somewhat, even though Isabel and I, we haven't spent that much time together, the time that we do spend together, it's always been an intimate conversation.
And those are also the people that when you, I really, I don't understand it. I don't understand like that jealousy thought.
Me neither.
I mean, because even somebody that I don't like, I mean, because I could think of somebody that I don't like at all. But if they were having success, I wouldn't have any feelings about it. Like if they made more money than me, regardless of how they do it, it wouldn't affect me, and I don't think it would affect me in any way. Like I wouldn't be like, "Well, how come they got that car? How come they got a house?" Like that wouldn't be a thing. It was just like, all right, I mean, good for them. Like whatever. Right. But like when with people, like there are no feelings with somebody that I don't like.
Right.
But I've told you even before, like I've seen random ass posts online because I mean we look up financial shit and it'll be like a random post from somebody that I don't know that it says from some group like, hey, I paid off, $5,600 on my credit card and I don't even know the person. Like, fuck yeah. Like I'm excited for that stranger.
Yes.
But the thought of like being envious
jealous or
envious,
jealous,
you know, and like you were saying, like these friends that we may not talk in forever, but whenever you see something come up and you see them winning or you see them doing good, it's like, fuck yeah. Like I'm so happy for them.
Yes. And I think that just stems back to their past. And that, things that they wanted to accomplish, things that they didn't accomplish for whatever reason, it all stems back from something that happened in their past. Maybe somebody hurt them. It all stems back from something that happened. And if you find yourself having that feeling, right? If you have yourself, having that feeling, ask yourself why. Why am I feeling this way? Why do I have this anger or jealousy or an envy in my heart? Why?
Yeah. And you know what? And if you have that, I think sometimes maybe that thought or that thought process or that mentality is one of like loss, like they're missing out. I think sometimes people feel like they're taking the majority of the pie or something, or like they're like, because they're winning, I have less of an opportunity or something like that. I don't know.
It's deeper than that.
Or maybe they're just jealous. But I mean, if you were to ask or talk to them, because whatever they did doesn't mean that it can't be done again. I mean, maybe they did something special or something different, but there's ways. Yeah. There's a big enough pie for everybody to be successful.
I mean, I guess, okay.
And if you were to ask them how they did it and they don't want to share it to you, well, maybe there's an issue with them.
Right.
But there also may be a reason why people don't share that stuff with you.
Right.
And it might be because of that attitude and that mentality.
Yes. So I remember one of my friends telling me, girl, everything you touch turns to gold. And the reason why she said that was because I opened up the signing agency and immediately started having sex.
You did have, yes. We did have.
Do you know what's on my mind?
We celebrated. Right. Show's over. Just kidding.
You just muted me,
I'm muted all of us. I'm about to end this show.
I'm touching myself now.
Watch the show.
Dude, we were doing so good.
Yeah.
We went from PG to R-rated. Anyways, hold up. Damn, what was I saying?
I don't know. I
got all
now.
hot. Damn it, babe. For real, you weren't listening?
I was, but now I'm distracted.
Okay, wait.
What do you guys? Can you guys remind us?
Oh man, can you remind?
We need to do this live sometime.
You suck.
Your friends. What happened?
Oh, so yeah, everything I touch turns to gold,
that's
right? And I opened up the business and
took off.
But what they don't realize,
you started having sex.
Success. But what they don't realize, like they don't see all the hard work that I've been. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur since 2006. So that means I've been building my network, people that I know, people that I went to lunch with, that I took them to lunch. I paid for their lunch. I took them, out for coffee or whatever it may be, all the time and energy that I put into these relationships, the trust that I have built.
That's a different thing. That's that where like they don't see the 10 years of you not making what you were worth in Legal Shield, but learning how to speak to people, learning how to present, learning how to get in front of a room.
But that's why. All of that. Yeah. That's why the people are winning. That's why those people that you're envious of or jealous of are winning, because they're doing the thing. It's not because they're special. It's not because they're different. It's because they were willing to put in the work. They were willing to go the extra mile. They were willing to scrape their knees. They were willing to stay up late, wake up early.
And I also think about it, right? Like if you have a negative mentality where you start the business and then you find out that you have to do something else. And it's like, well, I have to do, now I gotta do this.
Right.
Now I gotta do that.
Right.
Now I gotta do this. Like that shit, you're not gonna make it. I'm just being straight up. Like if that's your attitude towards everything, then you're just not gonna make it.
Right.
You gotta figure out how to develop a positive attitude about stuff, because that way you can keep going.
And let me share with you how to develop a positive mindset. We have always focused on getting better.
Yeah.
And I do have a higher positive mentality than you do.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I guess.
You don't believe?
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, I can see, or you don't agree. Not that you don't believe.
I don't know about, you see, I think it's different. I think you're talking about two different things. Because I am a very positive person. Because when things that are not that when people think that you can't do something, I do not think that way.
You're right.
What I think differently about is about certain things in reality. Right. Like I said, I'm not making it to the NBA. I don't give a fuck how positive you want to be about it. It's not happening.
Right.
Not happening.
Yeah. Yes. But I believe the good in all people.
Yeah, and I think some people might be pieces of shit.
And even though they're a piece of shit, I will find the one good thing about them.
She's like, I know there's corn in here somewhere. There's something good in here.
So that's what I'm talking about, because you are positive. You're my hype up man. You're my cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? And you are a positive.
That's why we need each other. Opposites attract, right?
Right. But that's what I meant to. Yeah, that's so funny. He's a piece of shit. Well, no, I can see that he has.
I'm like that
he's
guy's
a piece of shit. But hey, he does have. No, I'll find that quality somewhere. Like,
that dude's a piece of shit. Sonja's like. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're just different. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think in our relationship it helps us balance out. But like I said, that other mentality where everything is like just got a fucking rain cloud hanging over you all the time.
Like that Charlie Brown character.
You're not gonna do much.
And this is the thing too. It's like you can only take so much of that. Like I can only take so much of that. I remember I had a friend and everything was a problem. Everything was just chaotic. There was always something wrong. Even when it was something good, she would find
she finds the fucking bad shit in it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And I so try to help her. I so try to feed into her. I would send her motivational videos and all this stuff. And I found myself like I couldn't anymore. Yeah. I knew that I had to limit my time with her. I like you. I really do. And I want to help you. But damn, I can't go down with you. Like I'm feeling your energy and it's sucking my energy and I just can't do this. And it's like, you have to know when to limit your time. I'm not saying just to cut them out of your life. I'm saying limit the time you have with them, because they will suck the life out of you if you continue to try to save them.
Yeah.
And that was me. I would try to save everybody. But in the meanwhile, I'm starting to drown.
Yeah.
And it took me such a long time to recognize that I cannot save everyone, and not everyone wants to be saved. Right? Yeah. Like you can throw the life vest or the, what is that round thing?
Yeah. The life preserver.
The life preserver. Yeah, but you can't make them take it. Right? They have to want to take it.
Yeah.
And pull themselves in.
And if that's you, I mean, we got to work on techniques to change that way of thinking. I mean,
and
maybe
the way
music,
you do that,
maybe music helps.
Music, good music.
Meditation. Yeah, good music.
Meditation, hanging around, people that are positive.
Well, not
Put
just good
yourself in
music.
positive surroundings. Read some books. Read some books, right? Good books that are going to help you. It's like, there's so much knowledge out there. It's like, what do you want to know?
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
Yep.
I mean, you're learning something right now.
I'm sure you could even look up. You could look up a YouTube video to change the way you're feeling.
All of it. There's for anything out there, for anything that you want to learn or anything you want to get better at, or if you feel you're going through something, all you have to do is Google. Go to Google, go to YouTube, find answers, ask people that are living the life that you want to live.
Yep.
I'm sure they'll share it with you.
Yeah.
Because that's all you and I did, right?
We were like seriously looking for the information.
Yes.
To get better. If you want it, it's out there and it's not hard to find. So if you want it, you can find it.
What is a good book?
And you can find it for free.
What is a good book that you would recommend for starters? I have one, but what would you suggest?
As far as what? Like
what is a book that helped you?
You know what? I got a lot out of Own the Day, Own Your Life. Like as far as like an overall like mental, physical book, Own the Day, Own Your Life. I got to listen to that one again. Because I remember when we listened, it was by Aubrey Marcus. When we listened to that one, it was really good. And there's some things that I have to kind of go through and revisit again and kind of get back focused on that part of my life, is like my body, my health, being, getting the discipline back and all that, all that stuff.
One that I can remember by John C. Maxwell is Today Matters.
Today matters.
Like today matters.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow's not promised and yesterday is done and gone. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing today? Where are you today? And how are you going to make that matter?
Yep. And if you guys would like to pick up Own the Day, Own Your Life, or Today Matters, you guys can do that on Amazon. And if you're going to do any shopping on Amazon, the holidays are coming.
Yes.
If you guys are doing any Christmas shopping and you guys want to do it through our Amazon link, it would definitely help out the show. And we definitely appreciate it.
Let's share with them a little bit about that. Because a lot of people don't understand. Like, what do you mean go, and go to your link? Like, what exactly does it mean? Does it mean I'm going to have to pay more so that, it will help out the show? The answer is no.
It costs exactly the same.
Yep. It costs exactly the same. All it is one more step for you, because you're having to go to our website click the link to get to our Amazon link. And what that does is it we get a few cents or whatever that will help the show. And what we do is we bring on, we bring on guests. We, all the books that we buy, all the audio books,
everything that it takes to put the show together.
Yes.
And it definitely helps out. So if you guys would like to help us out, and you guys would do that by shopping through the Amazon link, you can go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. And when you go there, you can watch the podcast there. You can listen to it there. You can follow all of our social media there. And there's a support the show tab. And when you click on that, that'll take you to our Amazon link. And when you click on that, it'll take you right back to Amazon. And you can do your regular shopping like you normally do, and that helps out the show. Yes. And when you also click on the support the show link, you'll also see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary agency and signing agency. So if you're in the process of purchasing, selling, or refinancing your home, you can request Trust Inc. to be your signing agency.
Yep, and you can go to Trust Inc. directly by going to trustinkusa.com. You can also find our merch on Amazon if you want to get an Opposites Attract podcast t-shirt, phone case, pop sockets. We got a few different things. Just search Opposites Attract podcast on Amazon and you'll be able to find it there. We're also affiliates with Pinwheel, which is the best smartphone for kids available out there. It's a phone that doesn't give them access to internet, to social media, to YouTube, all the things that suck attention from kids and keep their face glued into the phone. What Pinwheel's mission is to make the phone a tool to make kids more productive, make it something that they can learn with. Mm-hmm. And like I mentioned on one of the other shows, I mean, this is something that it just makes sense, because some people, their approach is, I know this shit's horrible and I'm not going to give my kid a phone until they're 18 or 20 or whatever. That's not a good approach either, because they know their friends have phones. Their friends have tablets. There's technology all around them. There is no way that it's just ignoring it and sticking your head in the sand is not a good approach.
Right.
This is the best option in between. I mean, because you can pick kids apps that are for 5 and 6-year-old. And this phone would actually make it appropriate for a 5 and a 6-year-old to have a phone, where they can call and text and
I'm
only
not giving
have
my 5 or 6-year-old a phone, but yeah.
But if it only has age appropriate apps,
right,
then there's no danger in it. And then that way they can grow up with the phone as a preteen teenager. And then once they're responsible enough, they can get a full blown smartphone. But if you guys would like to get 10% off of a Pinwheel phone, you guys can go to pinwheel.com and use promo code OAP10. That's OAPTEN, all in caps, all spelled out. And that'll get you 10% off of a Pinwheel phone.
Yes. And if you would like to buy us a coffee and have your name.
We're going to have to change it to a wine or a beer.
I know, right? I know. We do drink coffee, though.
We do sometimes.
We like coffee. We like coffee, too.
Coffee.
Yeah,
they could buy us a coffee.
Yeah, they could buy us a coffee. You can go on there and be like, hey, Sonja, this is for your glass of wine. Hey, Miguel, this is for... He's only drinking wine because he doesn't have beer right now.
That's because you got the drinks today. You're like, baby, you want? I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Yes, and it's sangria. And it's great.
Sangria.
It's a sangria. But if you want to support us in our drink, support us. Or just, hey, hang out and hear your name shouted out on Opposites Attract podcast, you can go to
buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod. And you can, like Sonja said, you guys can buy us a coffee. You guys can leave us a message. We'll shout you out on the show. Just like Bill Soroka from Side Hustle Lounge.
Yes.
One of our mentors, one of our biggest supporters.
Very good friend of ours.
Yeah, he's an awesome friend of ours. And he hooked us up on buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod.
Yes,
so thank you,
Very
Bill.
Cool. Yes.
And check him out at, Side Hustle Lounge podcast. Because if you guys are looking at ways to make extra money, that's what his whole podcast is all about.
Yes,
all different types of side hustles. And I mean, we've talked about it here. There's, if you're one of those people that you want to take matters into your own hands, you want to make your own money, you want to be your own boss, you don't want to be told what to do, that's a great podcast.
Start your plan B. Yes. But, it's all about, when you look at us, for me, when I think back, I had a plan A and that's all I had. I was a paralegal. Yeah. I was doing very well financially and I wasn't looking for a way out. Like I was happy where I was at.
Yeah.
And then something came my way, right? Legal Shield. It came my way. And I was already in the legal industry.
Yeah.
And I knew how broken our system is. Whew, that's another conversation in itself. Yeah. Your average Joe does not have access to the justice system to pick up the phone, to find out what his rights are, to get a letter written out, to get his estate planning, just all of that. There's no way. They don't have the money, the funds to do so. So I found a way and I knew that I could stand behind this. I knew, I just knew 100% that this is something that I would want to do. I had no idea that it would lead me to freedom, breaking free. It wouldn't, that it would lead me. Oh my God, my whole life. I met you in the business.
Yeah.
It changed my whole life because I started to think different.
Yeah.
I started to think different because my associations changed.
Yeah.
Right? I started to believe that I deserved more. I started to dream again.
And the other crazy thing about the associations is that you start to meet people because when you don't have those associations, you think that those people are different. Right?
Right.
But, and they are different, but a lot of them were just like us. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And when you're not one of them or you're not around those types of people, a lot of times you think, well, there's something different about them. But when little by little you start hanging, you're like, they just learned some things.
Right. Yes.
Like, yeah, they're great people, but they started learning a few different things that kind of led them down a different path. And that's the thing is that in the beginning, you guys both are on a similar path. But if they're focused on something else, the next day, nothing's different. The next month, nothing's different. But if their focuses are different, little by little, they start separating, And that's the only difference is that they've been doing it for a while and now they think a little bit differently. but they used to be one of those people back in the day.
I remember. So I loved romance novels.
Well, let me just say, like, we talk a lot about being debt free.
Yes.
But we weren't always debt free. That's just what it is. So like somebody that may look and be like, oh, they're different. Like, not that different. We used to be like that. But we started focusing on something different.
Right.
It's not,
So what I was sharing is that I've always liked to read, but I liked to read romance novels.
Yeah.
And boy, was I good at it. I was an expert at being, at romance. I had that down. Ask Miguel. No?
This is what Sonja had playing while she'd be reading her romance.
No. I had some Key Sweat. Don't play. I had some Key Sweat on.
Yeah, let's put some the Genuine, the pony.
Oh yes, yep. I had it all. But when I started in Legal Shield, I remember a friend took that book away from me and gave me The Dream Giver.
Yeah.
And that book blowed my mind. Like, just blew my mind. It blew my mind because it got me to start thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
And it started talking about Mr. Ordinary and it just everything, how then they call it a little box that everyone after work would go watch this box.
Oh.
And the box was the TV.
And now it's in your hand.
And this individual was feeling like there was more to life, right? There was more to life. There had to be more to life than doing this.
Yeah.
And he started to think different.
Ooh.
And all of a sudden, he's like, I'm going out. Like, he's going on a journey. And his mom is like, no, the giants are going to kill you. The giants are going to get you.
Yeah.
Right? The giants are those people
Mikey
that are
and the
out
Dragons.
there. Yes. And it's a great book, especially for someone who is thinking they want different. And it's by Bruce Wilkinson. It's a very easy read.
The Dream Giver.
After that book, I wanted to read more. And
Yeah.
And that's what happened with our cat. So we have a cat that was an indoor kitty, okay? And she was always stuck in this house. And one day, she got the courage to go through the doggy door.
Even though she's not a dog.
Beyond the doggy door.
It's a whole new world.
A whole new world with flies and butterflies and birds and
she can murder.
And all of a sudden, this damn cat was like, hell no, you are not keeping me in that box because I know there's more to life outside that door. No,
she was out.
That was the Dream Giver right there.
That was it. That's pretty good, babe.
Right?
Yeah.
My poor kitty. But now I'm scared because there's dogs on every side of the wall.
Yep.
She might be dinner one of these days. No.
Yeah.
But she ain't scared.
Nope.
Now
not
she
anymore.
Comes
no,
through
now
the
she
damn
knows.
doggy
Now
door.
she knows
Didn't you tell
up.
me you said that you heard the door, like you couldn't find her, or you heard the
all
doggy door?
All of a sudden, I hear the doggy door, and then I look back and I see her.
There's no
there.
dogs, and there's the cat.
Yep. Like, oh shit, she knows now.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm so glad I didn't declaw her.
One thing that we've been talking about these books and things that are helpful, and one thing that I've started using that may be illegal. But it may help for other people.
What? Should you be talking about this right now to
fine.
everybody?
It's fine. It's not a big deal. If you just use it for yourself and you're not trying to
hold on. Witnesses. I knew nothing. Look, okay. This is all Miguel.
Relax. No, if you're not trying to do anything with this information, if you're just trying to keep it for yourself, for your own reference.
But you're not. You're
good.
Telling the world right now.
No, I'm telling you guys what to do. But download a recording app. Or use your phone.
Yeah.
Well, because the thing is that some of these recording apps, like they've made them so complicated because they're illegal to record other people.
Oh, conversations.
But what I've been using these apps for, and it's been super helpful, and not even just the apps, but like the video call. Or not video call, like taking a video on my phone. Like if I get a phone call of something important that I need to pay attention, I might need to review later or work, because like I mentioned on here, my job is something that I've been doing for a little bit now, but it's not something that I was completely used to all the time. It's something new for me. And when I'm on conference calls and doing different things, sometimes I don't understand everything, or they're talking quickly because they're more experienced than I am, and I'm trying to catch up on what they're saying. So what I do is I'll get my phone and I just start recording the conversation. And then that way I go back and I can listen to everything that was said, and I can make sure that I caught everything and I'm not missing stuff. But we've did that. We've done that
conversations with our CPA.
With our CPA, with when I talk to the attorneys about certain things that we have going on, just to make sure that I don't miss anything. And
because a lot of times, from what I heard, I think we only take in, is it 10% of what we hear or something like that? Like when during the lecture or something like that?
It's something like that. Like if you only listen, you might only get, I think, something like 10, 15%. If you write it down, it goes up to like 40%.
Yes.
But I think if you go to teach it to somebody else or something like that, but definitely taking notes helps. But this is something that and you know, another way that I've used this, because when we've talked a lot about Legal Shield on this episode, but that's how I started. Was when I first started Legal Shield, my mentality was always that when I started, I was brand new and pretty much didn't have much help. Like somebody came and signed us all up and left. And then we were just brand new by ourselves with no real mentor, no nothing. It was just like, here you go, figure it out.
What?
But my mentality has always been like when they, I wish other people had this mentality too, especially when you're looking for people for business. But when they came and signed me up, my mentality has always been like, okay, now this is my business. You know what I mean?
I wish I would have recruited you. I did, but not in the business.
Yeah. but my mentality automatically was, now this is my business. I have a business. So regardless of anybody else, this is my business. Yeah. So even though somebody came and left and now I have nobody, my business is going to fail if I don't figure it out.
Right.
So I could be brand new, but I can't make excuses. So I just started I would go to presentations and I would just record and record. And then I would sit there because I knew that I was going to have to do that if I wanted to make some money.
The presentation, you were going to have to get into another room. Because they said the people that were making all the money were the speakers.
So I didn't want to do it. But it doesn't matter. If that's what you want to do, that's what you have to do. So I started recording and I would just go back and study over. And I would even tell the same corny ass jokes in the beginning until I made up my own jokes. And then you get more comfortable. But that's just what it is.
Yes.
But these recording apps, they come in really handy when you're trying to do things like that. Yep.
So before we move on, is there anything else you would like to add?
I think I'm all good on this topic. Thanks, babe. Dang, that was pretty smooth. We wrote that down on the whiteboard so we're not jumping around all over the damn place. Oh, you did? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that with all these bright lights in front of me.
Yeah.
That's
so we got Thanksgiving coming up, and we got a podcast. This is coming out on Sunday. We got another podcast.
So the reason why I asked you that question was because I was going to start the next.
Okay, go for it.
So I'm really excited about this parenting series that we just started.
I'm glid you did that because I was going to talk about that and I forgot.
And listen, Lindas.
All the Lindas that were on the listen, Lindas, all of them that were on the
parenting is no joke. It's not. And if you get ahead of the game, like if you are pregnant right now, or if you have a toddler, right, or an infant, the best time to practice or the best time to start reading and filling your self with knowledge is now. It's now. And Miguel and I, again, we focus on being the best that we can be. And so we've just been studying on parenting, right? We have a 12-year-old, we have a 10-year-old, and a 15-year-old. And so it's like always just practicing. And so practicing what we've read. And so I felt that God was telling me we needed to start this parenting series.
Yeah.
And
we had our first one.
Yes.
This last week on Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
The day I got back from Mexico. But I already had the program. I already had it completed before I left. And
we had a few friends, followers, listeners join a group Zoom call.
Yes. And if you missed it, I'm sorry, but it's closed. Because there's too much to go back, to reteach, even on the first the first Zoom meeting we had. Is just too much to go over. So, we will have these ongoing, but I mean, our whole goal is to get better together, right? That's our saying. Thank you for listening or watching Opposites Attract podcast, where we get better together, because that is our focus, whether it's marriage, parenting, finance, just that's why we have this platform.
Yeah.
And so we started to roll out these series. And so if you missed this one, it's okay. We will, in the future, probably have another one. But our next one will probably be marriage, because we should have started with marriage.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a marriage one, and then we'll go back to parenting. And
we need to do the finances as well. So we have to figure it all. Part of marriage.
Part of both, yeah.
Yeah, but some people aren't married. They're in a relationship, but they still need help.
True.
So I don't want to leave anybody out.
We'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah. But I just wanted, the parenting series, the whole goal of that is so that, we can all learn together, share together. It's not just me talking. It's not just Miguel talking. It's an interactive Zoom where there's questions, answers. We even have some homework. Yeah. That we provided to them.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that there's people that have had different experiences that we haven't had. We've had experiences that other people haven't had, and between all of us, we can kind of figure things out.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think that was really cool. One thing that while we were in the Zoom talking, to our friends and listeners, we were talking about like things that have helped or made a difference when it came to parenting, right? Mm-hmm. And there was something that I thought of in that moment, but I think you were talking or somebody was talking and I didn't want to interrupt. But one thing that really helped me, and I mentioned it, was kind of thinking of how we were as kids. Like something that I never really thought about until it was shared with me. Mm-hmm. But how if we met somebody a lot of times that would tell us a story of a childhood that was similar to our childhood, we would have more empathy and sympathy towards them. But a lot of times we're harder on ourselves. Like, we should get it together. We should know better. We should be doing better. Like, you shouldn't be affected by that. That was a long time ago.
Right.
But if it was somebody else, you wouldn't feel exactly the same way. You'd be like, I get why they are the way they are.
Right.
I get why they have those issues with that stuff or whatever. Right. And in that moment, I was thinking, like that kind of stuff, and also being a kid, like when you're parenting and your kids lie or your kids do something stupid, because they do. Right. When they're just driving you fucking insane, when there's a mess all over the place, I was thinking like maybe just putting up pictures of us as kids, like different stages in our life as kids around the house, because I'm sure the kids would like to see that. But it also reminds us of us being at those ages, at those times, because we fucked up all kinds of shit just like they do. Like we all made the same mistakes. It's not like oh my God, we were perfect and now look at all the shit that you're doing.
Right. Yeah.
I think a lot of times we forget that. But if we have something that's out there that we can see, it reminds us of what it was like to be them.
Well, yes. I mean, even in the first conversation with our listeners, those that participated in the parenting series, that's what I asked them to do. Because, the first set, we're not focusing on parenting yet. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying,
my main focus is for our listeners to heal. It's working through their childhood, their past traumas, because the only way to really heal from the core, your core, is to release, to let go, to forgive, not only yourself for whatever there is there, but to forgive others. And it's like I asked them to get a picture of themselves at that age, whatever age it was, whatever trauma, whatever it was that they went through, to get a picture of themselves at that age.
Yeah. I was just saying more like of us at the age of our kids. Because like I said, if we see pictures of us at their age, like maybe find something of me when I was 12 or 10 or around that age, and something of you when you were 12 or 10, and put it around. And there's things that we remember that we did when we were 10 or 12. But you also remember just the kid that you were.
Being a kid, yeah.
But then when you look at your kids and then you remember yourself as a kid and look at them as a kid, it's like, yeah, I guess,
right.
We were
because we're so hard on them, and we forget that we were once them.
Yeah. Oh my God. The stuff that No, it's true.
Yeah. And not only that, but
who are you to lie to me?
So much.
Who are you to lie to? Like, I fucking
That's what they're supposed
all
to
the
do.
time.
That's what they're supposed to do at that age.
Oh my God. The shit that used to drive, the shit that drives parents crazy when you fucking ask a kid a question and they sit there and just blink at you.
Yeah.
Like fucking, hey, why'd you do that? And it's just fucking.
I don't know. And it's funny because it's like, what do you mean you don't know? And speaking to Sandy Semino, like she said, she's like, they actually don't know. Like their brain is developing so fast.
But I literally remember my dad. Why'd you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. Why'd you do that? I don't know. Like, it was just fucking dumb shit. I did it. We all did it. You can't get that mad at them.
That's well, this has definitely been fun. I hope you all got something, out of this podcast, something that you can relate to or something you can share, something that you can get better at or better with, whatever it may be.
And we'll be back before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So while you guys are getting your Thanksgiving cooking done or whatever, you guys can finish listening up to this podcast.
Yes.
And we'll have another one out right before Thanksgiving.
We thank you guys. We love you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for sharing, the podcast. But more than anything, thank you for
going to oppositesattractpodcast.com, sharing it with the people that you know, and subscribing. And if you guys would like to support us, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod. If you want to call us and send us a message, if you want to send us a question for the podcast, if there's something that you guys want to know or just want to or wonder
share with us
what we think about something.
Right? Maybe an accomplishment.
You guys
paid off your debt.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
For sure.
Any of that stuff. I mean, we get excited about all that stuff.
What if you got into an argument and then you guys figured out a solution?
What if your wife keeps cutting you off?
Share that with us.
So yeah.
It's the sugar and the sangria. Sorry.
I'm muting your microphone for the rest of this episode.
You better not. I'll kick you on my heel.
But if you guys would like to send us a message, you guys get a hold of us on any of our social media. You can also send us a message at oppositesattractpodcast.com. Just click the contact us and you can send us a message through there. Or you can send us a text, a voicemail at 480-912-5128. And like I said, go to oppositesattractpodcast.com.
Thank you all for watching Opposites Attract Podcast.
Where we get better
together.
Bye.
Bye.